Khan, Robin and I, we wanted to ask you a question, didn't we, Robin? Can machines like that ventilator only work in hospitals?
Well, it's just a machine, you know. You plug it in and it goes. Why do you ask?
Robin's going to leave the hospital.
Do you have any idea of the risks?
Yes. Yes, I do. The risk is that he might die. Robin.
I either go on living here or leave here and possibly die.
Yes.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Hi everybody, I am Peter Travers and this is Popcorn, where we tell you what is happening at the movies. And there's a movie now called Breathe that will amaze you, break your heart, do all kinds of things, in large part because of the performance of my friend here, Andrew Garfield.
Friend. I
So
like being
welcome.
described as your friend,
Well,
Peter.
especially since the last time you were hating me.
Yeah, no,
You know,
just
so I
at the
changed
end.
it.
It was like a love-hate. I think I meant love.
Was it a love-hate?
Yeah,
There's
it
a lot of
was.
people that write on that board. I sense the love-hate of doing it. But I mean, since I saw you last, you've had an entire career rolled into. You know, you were on stage in Death of a Salesman.
Yes, yeah.
Then you would do movies like Hacksaw Ridge and get an Academy Award nomination. Work with Martin Scorsese.
I know.
In Silence.
Oh, God.
Then I saw you do Angels in America.
Did you see
on
that?
Stage. Yes. I wanted to go
Oh.
backstage, and
I wish you
they
had.
said, please. They said Andrew has a message. Send him away. So I went, oh, okay.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
I'm kidding.
Oh my God,
I'm
don't do
allowed.
that to me.
I'm allowed. See, he thought it was real. He said,
Yeah, I would
maybe
love
I
to
was
have
in
seen
that
you.
bad mood that
No,
night.
I was probably, but I would have loved to have seen you
Send him
still.
away.
Send him away.
Away. I don't want to see
I don't
him.
know
No.
Peter Travers.
This play's long.
It was long.
Yes,
wasn't
and so you're doing it on Broadway.
it? We are doing it on Broadway. A privilege, yeah.
What's a better play that came out of
The
this
last
century? Yeah, no. There's nothing.
Tricky.
There's nothing.
Tony would be very shy to hear that, but I think it's the
Oh,
truth.
come on.
No,
In
he
the end,
would.
he's heard
very
it.
modest,
Mhm.
isn't he?
But he keeps hearing.
He can't
people
help
say
it.
that.
He calls it the
can't help
franchise.
it. He can't help it. We'll have him on, and he can eat the rest of what's left of this popcorn. See,
It's
now
really
you're going
good.
to choke on it. And when I say to you, so breathe.
Exactly.
What is it?
Yeah, well,
is it?
we don't. It's about things that we take for granted. It's really about the things that we don't have to think about. The fact that our lungs are working right now without us operating them. The fact that we're not living in constant fear of death. It's a privilege, really, because the character that I play is an amazing man. True story about this amazing man and his wife. His name was Robin Cavendish, and her name was Diana, and she's still with us. And he contracted polio when he was 28, and he was then paralyzed from the neck down. And he couldn't breathe for himself. His interior functionality totally shut down. So he had to have a tracheostomy, an opening in his larynx, and they put a breathing tube in, and it was connected to a ventilator where he was breathed for the rest of his life. And he had to live the rest of his life with this external support, not only with this machine, but really being taken care of by his wife and his friends and his family. And his story is remarkable. It's about so many things. It's thematically very, very rich, I think, and ultimately it's an inspiring story about what's meaningful in life and how we create lives that are very meaningful.
Well, I liked how the movie didn't fudge the terror, the horror, the despair of being told, because this guy's very active, and then suddenly he's falling down on a tennis court. He can't do what he usually does. And that's what polio was in
Yeah.
the 50s. This was what was going on in it. And he almost suicidal. See,
Well,
you're going to cough. I know
was.
you are. It's just going to be
No.
you're eating the popcorn, and this is it. And
I
then
do
it'll be
love
in your
popcorn,
teeth.
that's the problem.
so
You put
it's
it
a
here,
good thing.
you put a
it
massive-
here. Well, you can throw it at me.
No, I would never. Well, maybe.
Yes, you
but,
would.
But no, you're absolutely right. I think that's exactly, what do you do? He was a very athletic man. He was very, that's how he experienced the world. Very gregarious, very extroverted, loved people, loved life, was God-fearing, was a Christian man, very spiritual and religious, and but just loved being alive. And he kind of, I think he met the world with his physicality, with his body. So then, yes, of course, the polio hits, and it was, he took it as a death sentence, really,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't. He took it as such.
I know, but what else do you do when that happens? And
Well,
it
yeah.
says, I can't. I'm just
What's-
married.
yeah.
What do I do?
What's the point of me anymore? I think he internalized this kind of a valuelessness. He didn't know what his value was if he wasn't able to, provide for his wife in the way that he had imagined. His wife was pregnant with their first son and only son when the polio hit, and he, having to let go of the idea of playing sport with your son, having to let go of those imagined dreams of bonding with your unborn child, and having to accept the fact that those things can't be. How do you deal with that? It's a grief process, and he didn't know that he there was a period of 3 years where he was very depressed, and he really didn't want to live. But I will underline the fact that this is I think you'll agree, is a very uplifting story, even though there's a devastating event, but it acts as a catalyst for an incredibly joyful and connected life.
In addition to that, I should say this is Andy Serkis's. He was here a couple of months ago and talking about this. This is his first film as a director.
Yeah.
And you have, I think, is he producer? The actual son of Robin Cavendish.
Jonathan Cavendish, yeah.
And so he's there
Yep.
while this is happening.
Yep.
No pressure on you, right, Andrew? No, just like
Seems to
the
like
wife is
pressure.
there.
Yeah, no.
The son is there.
Yeah.
And did they ever say, "You're not my father. My husband was nothing like you"? What?
How mortifying.
No.
It would have been withering. No, I mean, no, I wouldn't. They are the kindest people. And even if I did screw it up entirely, they haven't let it on yet. They haven't shared any, disappointment to my face anyway.
Right. That's all. Everything's done behind. I saw an interview with his widow recently, and she looked like a strong person.
She is totally herself.
Oh, yeah.
She just is who she is. There's no bones about it. She doesn't suffer fools, and yet she's so loving. She's so loving. And kind and warm and funny. They were so funny, and they created, I think going back to the spiritual aspect of it, Robin's religion, he renounced God after the paralysis. He kind of stuck two fingers up at God and said, well, if I don't believe in a God that would give me this indignity, that would take away something that I loved so much. And he really lost his faith in that, in his previous idea of God. But then I believe he found a very deep spirituality after that, a spirituality of loving people. And he was able, not only when he was able to finally surrender to the disease, to the paralysis, to his new fate, to his new life, he regained, as you said, his sense of humor. And not only his sense of humor with other people, but his sense of humor with God, if there is such a thing, with the universe, with the absurd cosmic joke that the universe seems to be playing on all of us as we stumble through our lives.
I don't want to give away any, things that people can see when they do it, but the wheelchair that his friend helps him do, that Hugh Bonneville's playing, that it's this incredible thing that makes him mobile, that the wheelchair could be a breathing apparatus, that all that can happen while it's going on.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And all of these technological advancements that him and Teddy Hall created, Hugh Bonneville's character, came out of this very simple personal thing, which was inside Robin, which was, I want to feel the wind on my face. I want to listen to the birds chirping in a closer way. I want to go and see the sunrise over the Med. I want to have my toes dipped into the seaside again. I want to feel life as much as possible. And it wasn't any grand gesture, that he wasn't trying to be heroic. All he was trying to do was live his life fully. And because of that, because of his own, you know, the technological creations that he made, he not only changed his life, but by proxy changed everyone's life around him, not only his friends and family, but other disabled people, other people who had suffered the same fate. So the ripples of his life continue with this film.
Well, there's a spirituality in that sense of saying, if I don't want to live like this, I'm going to risk this in order to live as much as I can.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I think when you watch the movie you get inspired by. This sense of, if I were that person.
Yeah.
When movies, theater, anything is working,
Yes.
you're identifying to that sense where you
Yes.
say, what would I do?
Yeah.
And you look at him and say,
Yeah.
I wish I could be that brave.
But it also doesn't it say, well, what can I do to break
what are
through
the limits?
the limitations of my own life, the things that are put on me that keep me from, you know, that full, rich life that I can dream of in my imagination, but I can't quite physicalize, and what's holding me back. And hopefully it's a film that will, and it's proven that it is this kind of film, because you know, we were speaking to people afterwards, telling their stories and talking about their longings and how it's inspired them. It's a film that really has the power to, I think, bring people into a more fully realized version of their own existence.
Well, that would be,
Hey.
yeah. Wow.
It's not bad, is it?
Okay, go out and buy your tickets and then come back to us after that. But what is it that does that for you? What is it that gets you through what you're doing? Because as an actor, you're taking risks all the time.
Yes, I think that is a big part of it for me. And I know it's not brain surgery or rocket science. I'm not saving lives, but there is something very scary. I find personally, other people may not in my position, but I find it very, very frightening to open up my heart and to be vulnerable in front of, you know, if it's like thousands of people in the theater, or you know, millions of people who are watching a film. It's very scary. Even doing this interview, there's something risky about it, because there are people that are going to be watching, going, "Oh, I don't like him. Get him off. Why is he on there?" You know, that is an
a little bit,
inevitability.
Get him off.
You know
Get
what I
him
mean?
off. Right. Yeah. Sure.
But so it's how do we feel the fear, and then step into the fire
and
anyway.
go in anyway.
And how do we do that?
Even though people screaming, "Get him off!
Get him off! Get him off!"
Is that how you relate to things when you're watching them? Yes, I see. Get him off! Where's the hook? You know? Yeah. Let's just take these people away. No, I don't. You wouldn't if there was something not driving you, whether it's ego, talent, sense of yourself that says, "I can do this."
Yeah, I think it's that. And it's also.
I mean, you were the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, Peter, don't bring that up.
I'm bringing it up because the fact is, you weren't here talking about the Amazing Spider-Man.
No.
So anything you didn't say the last time, I can bring up. And the fact is,
is that the rule? Is
that's
that the way it
rule.
works?
Oh, that's a new rule that I had. Oh, don't bring it up. There are little children everywhere that would look at you and say that.
Oh, that's lovely. That's beautiful.
Yes, well, that's what I mean.
I love that. That's a gorgeous thing.
Yeah.
It's the parents that I struggle with. No, I'm kidding.
It's the parents, but also, you know, it was sad. I think I'd heard that, you know, you keep the outfit and occasionally try it on.
Yeah.
I'm
a little out of shape, so it looks a little, I don't know, it's a little sad.
It's just not the same.
It's a little sad.
Do you watch the new Spider-Man movies and weep? See, who is this Tom Holland child? How could he possibly be doing this?
Are you dead? Tom Holland will not, his name will not be desecrated. Okay, in seriousness, he's wonderful, don't you think?
I do, yeah.
Did you see The Impossible? You must have seen The Impossible.
I did, yes.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
I can always get the answer yes.
Yeah.
Did I see it? Yes, most likely. Maybe I missed Big Mama's House 4, but
God, that was actually the strongest of the four Big Mama's houses.
Especially since they didn't really make it to do that, right? But you have that, when something like that's the only reason I brought it up.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I do not cry and watch the new ones. No, I don't.
There's only one new. You know?
But I haven't actually seen it yet. So that's why.
Okay.
But when I do watch it, I will probably.
But look at you.
Look at me, indeed.
Again, when you turned me away, I went backstage at Death of a Salesman, and I
Did
went
I turn
to
you
see
away
the
from that?
wonderful Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yes.
who we miss so much.
Dearly.
And I was
Oh.
talking to him, and I said, I wonder if I could just drop in and see Andrew. And they said, oh, no. No, that really can't happen. But this thing.
Just for the audience at home, this is not true.
Oh, it's all completely. It really is. But the fact is, you go onto the stage, which is as terrifying an act as an actor can do.
It's scary, isn't it?
And now you just finished in London
Yep.
with Angels in America.
Yes.
But you're going to play it on Broadway.
Yep.
Back to Broadway.
Back to Broadway.
Oh boy. And again, it's such a big play that it has to be done in 2 parts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but don't let that put people off because it's the most remarkable play of the last century. As you
It
were saying.
is. It really is.
It really is. It's everything. It's like a Netflix box set live. Right? It's
The
like,
last thing I would have said, actually.
but do you know what I mean? Like it's like a Netflix novel, but live theatre. It's like literature, but in front of your very eyes, acted out.
Huge monologues, huge things that you just have to.
But no word is unnecessary. That's the incredible thing
Well, I'm
about
sure
Tony.
Kushner told you that. You know, that's it. No word is unnecessary.
Puppeteering.
Why are
yeah.
you leaving it out, doing it? But are you enjoying it?
I loved it. I loved doing it in London. It was maybe one of the most fulfilling artistic experiences I've had.
Nathan Lane didn't make your life miserable.
Not at all.
No.
Quite the
He's
contrary.
real. Well, yeah, that was a joke. The rest about him saying send him away really isn't at all. So I always end this show in song.
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
as you recall, famously, infamously.
Infamous.
So
Long
I'm
time
not even
ago.
going to bring up that moment with
No.
the bedroom intruder.
No, please don't.
I'm not, but there must be
You
some
just did.
kind of I did, yes. There must be some. But go on YouTube, you can see it. It's amazing. It's just amazing. What are you singing in the shower?
Why are you asking me so incredulously? Why are you so upset with me even before
I'm not
us?
upset. I was just saying there has to be something. It should be just bursting out of you. You know, if you've been through Fincher, if you're playing Tony Kushner on stage, you are fearless now.
I am fearless.
You
that's
have
right.
no more
That's
fear.
what they call me, Andy the Fearless.
Andy the Fearless.
Fearless Andy.
Are your friends call you Andy?
Andy no, my mum and dad, my
Did.
brother, and my close friends, and you now, Peter, if you'd like.
Well, no, they told me Mr. Garfield was all you replied to. So
What have I been singing in the shower? I've been singing Christmas carols, weirdly.
Excellent. That will just
Yeah,
put
yeah,
us.
yeah.
It's early, but still.
I love Christmas.
Christmas carol.
What was the Christmas carol I was singing earlier?
What?
So this is Christmas, and what have you done? And and a new world has begun. Remember that one?
I do. I do.
No, that actually wasn't the one I was singing earlier. The other one I was singing earlier was Christmas time, mistletoe and wine, children sing in Christian rhyme with logs on the fire and something on the tree. That one.
Get him
I
off.
started getting him off. I started so confidently.
It was okay in the beginning.
It was better than okay.
And then you went into that.
Because you made this face. You
I'm sorry, I
you went
didn't
like
mean to
this.
be
You were like
Get him off. I couldn't help it. It was just there it
Now.
goes. There it goes.
Now it's time.
I accept your condemnation. No, here it is. That's great. And he's enjoying that way too much, you know. I really throw a little on yourself.
Get him off.
Now you're going to have people take care of.
Bring in the popcorn
this.
people.
This is it. Look at it. It's all over. Andy, thank you so much. I've never called you Andy. You could say it again as you ended the last show.
What?
I hate you, Peter.
I hate you, Peter.
So